All right, guys, what's going on? WWE TLC. I thought the pay-per-view was good, but there's a lot of things that put a bad taste in my mouth. I know it's getting a lot of mixed reviews, but let's get right down to it. Christian versus Shelton Benjamin. Excellent ladder match. It really didn't blow away everything else like I was expecting it to be, but still the match of the night. I think Christian and Shelton are two of the top performers in WWE, two of the most underrated, and I definitely think that Christian should main event WrestleMania against John Cena. I think that that's the main event that I want to see, and I think that would be the most intriguing, storyline going into WrestleMania. I think that would just be an awesome feud. But doubt it's going to happen. But let's move on to the next match. We get Drew McIntyre versus John Morrison. I thought the match was average. It was pretty good. I thought it could have been better if they went a little bit longer, and it kind of made Morrison look a little bit weak to stay down from that finisher. I really thought it could have been a lot better, but I can see why Vince McMahon likes Drew McIntyre. I wouldn't necessarily pin it all on Triple H why Drew McIntyre is getting pushed. A lot of people have been saying that. I'm not really sure how true that is, but from the outside looking in, I say it's more of a Vince McMahon thing. I think Vince sees McIntyre as someone who has a unique look. He's got that foreign presence about him. It's just someone different, and I think that's more than anything. I think that's what Vince is attracted to. So I would say that that's the reason why he's getting pushed. So let's move on to Mickie James versus Michelle McCool. For women's match, this was pretty good. The anticipation for the finish was definitely there, and the crowd was really into that. Yeah, but pretty good for a women's match. Really had no complaints with this. So next we get John Cena versus Sheamus for the WWE title. It was a pretty decent match. It didn't have the normal heat that the Cena matches usually have, but the tables matches really could only go so far. There's a lot of limitations that the workers have in that type of match, but I had some problems with it. I know Sheamus won the WWE title. I'm not necessarily pissed that he won the title because it really does make sense. Um, but let's talk about the finish first. I'm gonna talk about this for a while actually. But if they're gonna have Sheamus win the belt, why make it seem like it was a fluke? They had Cena actually slip off the top of the turnbuckle, lose his balance, and then go through the table. The commentators didn't sell the fact that Sheamus, pushed Cena off the turnbuckle and won the title and won the match. They made it sound like Cena lost the match because he lost his balance. So, I don't. I'm just so sick of the WWE trying to make Cena look strong because it really hurts the shows and it hurts the matches, just like it did at SummerSlam with Randy Orton. The same shit happened here again. I wasn't expecting an excellent match. It wasn't an excellent match, but still, if you're gonna have this guy Sheamus win the belt heading into the Royal Rumble, why not just have him? Why not just make him look strong? There's no shame in getting your ass kicked from time to time. It happened in the Rocky movies, and Rocky still was the hero by the end of the movie, so it could happen here as well. You know, have Sheamus. I mean, you don't have to necessarily have Sheamus squash Cena, but at least for the finish, make him look like like Sheamus put him through the table. Make him look like bam, he just kicked Cena's ass. I don't think there's any shame in that. It gives. I mean, Sheamus won the belt, so yeah. I mean, that gives Cena something to play off of heading into the Royal Rumble. I mean, well, think about it. Like, if Cena did retain the belt here, really, what would Sheamus have to do to get a rematch? I mean, he probably have to attack Cena on Raw and brutally attack him in some form or fashion. But definitely, this sparks a little bit more interest to see a rematch. So I understand that's why they did it, and really don't have a problem with it now. But I think the Sheamus character is very interesting. I can see why Vince, just like McIntyre, I can see why Vince McMahon is pushing him. But I really think we just don't know enough about Sheamus's background to fully buy into this. His wrestling background, he really hasn't beaten anyone credible. He really hasn't beaten any upper mid carders like people have said. I think a lot of that has to do with the brand extension. I think we're just limited. Everything is just very limited right now. We don't have the talent like they did in 2002 when Brock Lesnar was making his push. So, but yeah, I think the rematch at the Royal Rumble, it definitely gives them something to play off of. So I could definitely see why they did it. Um, but the Sheamus thing, I think people are just pissed because I think other guys definitely deserve to be in his position. But at the same time, it does make him look like a legit threat, and it definitely gives him some more credibility. So I think a rematch of the Royal Rumble, we'll just see how it goes. All right, I've talked about that enough. I'm sorry I had to dwell on that a lot, but next up we get Undertaker versus Batista, the WWE title match, or I'm sorry, the World title match, the chairs match. I thought this was the worst Undertaker Batista match by far. Obviously, the finish for this match, you actually had Teddy Long come out and reverse the decision. Batista actually low blowed Undertaker, and the referee didn't see it. So Teddy, it kind of makes sense because you want to stick to the stipulation. A chairs match, the calling it a chairs match for a reason doesn't necessarily mean that anything always has. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that anything goes. I mean, if anything did go, then they would have called it a no disqualification match. So I guess they didn't want to rip the fans off like that. So, but my problem with, I think they could have done it a different way though. Um, I think they wanted to give Batista something to play off of. They want to give Batista a reason for being a heel. So that's why I guess they're having him feud with Teddy Long now, or have him angry at Teddy Long. But for this match, it just put one of the things. It just put a bad taste in my mouth because it's like if you're going to reverse a decision like that, then it kind of like devalues all the other times we've seen guys win the belts by cheating or whatever, and the referee or the general manager did not reverse the decision. So it kind of just puts a bad taste in my mouth because it just devalues all the past title victories we've seen in the past. So it's just a lame finish. It just the crowd really. I mean, the crowd liked the finish because it was great to see Undertaker win the belt, and I think Undertaker needs to go into WrestleMania as the champion this time and put someone over. That's just my opinion, but just a really lame finish there. But I can see why they did it though. All right, next up we get Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston. I thought this match was pretty good. It was a solid 3.5-star match. Some really good spots with Kofi did a crossbody onto the outside, and then Orton kind of kicked him in midair. Thought that was an excellent spot, and the match was pretty good. It was Orton did go over, and but I think. I necessarily don't think it made Kofi look weak. I think Kofi has pretty much gotten the upper hand on Orton over the last month, and the feud has definitely benefited Kofi Kingston. If you look at Kofi Kingston to where he was, back in September to where he is now, he's definitely the program with Orton has definitely benefited him, and Orton is definitely one of the few bright spots in the WWE roster. So you do have to. It wouldn't have been smart just to have Kofi go over him again. So just an excellent match, 3.5 stars. Probably the second best match of the night. Next up, we get the TLC match, DX versus Jericho and the Big Show. My heart just wasn't in this match. I kind of knew DX was going to win. I'm not really. The DX thing just seems very, like a lot of people are saying, it just seems really fake to me. And it's very easy for DX right now. They really don't have to do a lot, and they can still get over and make a lot of money. It was a simple main event. It was a safe main event, and the fans still went home happy. They really didn't have to do too much. It was pretty exciting. Give Jericho and credit here. I thought he busted his ass. Big Show did some pretty cool stuff, like breaking the ladder and everything like that. But I don't know. I really don't think this type of stuff should main event a pay-per-view, but I can see why they did it because they're in Shawn Michaels' hometown. But I know a lot of people don't want to see Triple H turn heel on Shawn Michaels because it's kind of repeating 2002. But I'm at the point right now where, I'd just rather see that. That's just my opinion. I'd just rather see Triple H turn heel again. I just think he's an excellent heel, and I just miss it. But TLC, I thought it was an okay pay-per-view. From top to bottom, there was quality stuff on it. It's just one of those pay-per-views that really just put a bad taste in your mouth. So that's pretty much it. Running out of time. Let me know what you guys think.